Hi guys, my name is Libertee and welcome back to BTG Tips, otherwise known as Bridge the Gap Tips. And this week's episode is the bigger picture. I'll be talking about art focus and how to draw at a large scale or on a canvas. I'm going to be talking about drawing from a photograph and going from tracing to drawing. I'm going to be giving you guys 5 key tips. Tip 1, explore outside for inspiration. Whether that's just going out in general or whether that's going to a gallery, there's always something to photograph, because when you go outside, there's art. When you're inside, there's art. So you're always going to get inspiration from anywhere and everywhere. So just make sure that you're always taking photographs of things that inspire you and resonate with you. Tip 2, personalizing it. So once you've gone from taking your whole photo shoot, you're then going to go down and select key pictures that you feel that inspire or resonate with you in particular, and you've got to make sure that it really resonates with you, because you cannot draw something, especially at a large scale, that doesn't resonate with you, because you're going to get tired or bored of it. So make sure that whatever you're picking out is something that you're really involved with and you feel like you'll be able to focus on for a long period of time. So just pick those up. Tip 3, don't worry about what people think about your work, because even though you're creating your art piece and you have a meaning that you're intending for people to understand, everyone's going to take away different interpretations from your artwork. So whether you say that you're putting forward X, Y, and Z, someone else is going to say A, B, and C about your work, because there's multiple views on artwork. There's never one meaning. So make sure that you don't take that to heart, because something that you haven't thought about in your art, someone else will take away, and that's a good thing. You've got to make sure that your art has different meanings, because that's the key, meanings art. Tip 4, now I don't feel like a lot of people use these, but this is something that really helps me with my art, is using cotton buds. Instead of, like, you know, when you're smudging to get certain shades, you need to use cotton buds, because with your fingers, how do I explain it? With your fingers, you have a fingerprint, so it's harder to get the textures and the shades that you really want. So if you use a cotton bud, it looks much better and it's easier to use and it's soft, so you can literally just like manipulate the art into a way that you really want to. And tip 5 is about pencils in particular. So when you start off drawing, make sure that you're always shading lightly with the lightest pencil you have. Normally they say 2B or B. Only go on to like 5B, 7B and 8B later on when you're further down. Like when the art piece is nearly finished, that's when you go dark and put in all the dark shades. But also when you're first drawing and sketching, make sure you don't go in too hard, because you cannot rub it out. And especially if you're drawing at a large scale, you're not going to be able to rub it out. Like, it's really hard. So I'd say that's one of my key tips, is make sure you're always sketching lightly. Never ever start off with a dark shade. Okay, so I'm going to talk about an art piece that I have done personally. It was of a large scale A1, but you got to think, like, how do artists get to the stage that they get to? Because you can't just jump into a drawing. You need to get inspiration from somewhere. So personally, I was doing my art piece about the Windrush scandal, and at the time it was something that everyone was really in tune with, like everyone knew about it and it was ongoing on the news. Like it was that time that it was a big thing. Not that it's not a big thing in general. So because I'm of West Indian heritage, it resonates with me, and I did a photo shoot of myself wearing different materials around my head to kind of represent a noose, and then I projected different words and like different words from newspaper scandals about the scandal of the Windrush. So it was like, there's layers to the art, let me put it that way. So obviously one of my first points was make sure it resonates with you. Now I am physically the art, so of course that is something that resonates with me personally, and that's something that inspired me because it's me in the picture. That's the first thing, is the photo shoot. Then I selected the key photos that I wanted, because I did different angles of myself, different materials of myself, different projections of myself, put it that way. So you choose the key ones that you really think, oh, this one really portrays what I want it to portray, and this one has a key meaning, and this one I feel that I will be able to draw and not get bored. So that was the next step. The third step I took was then thinking about if I wanted to edit it or not. I didn't really edit them that much, to an extent. No, I didn't. But sometimes people like to edit it. I personally didn't. So then the next step was tracing it. Because I did an A1 piece, there's no way you can just straight up sketch that, because the proportions are going to be all wrong. It's A1. If you think about yourself and an A1 sheet of paper, you should never be just sketching it, because it's really, really hard. So I'd say always trace it, like from a projector or something. So then I trace it and sketch at the same time, because when you trace, you're not going to get everything that you want. So make sure afterwards you go back and you sketch out whatever it is that you feel that's missing from the photograph that's not on the page.